Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to pause for a moment and look honestly at your life, not with regret, not with fear, but with responsibility and hope. Every one of us has been given the same 24 hours, the same opportunity to choose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, purpose over drifting. The difference between ordinary results and extraordinary achievements is not luck, it is the daily decision to do what others are unwilling to do. The ultra-successful do not wait for perfect conditions. They begin where they are, with what they have, and they build consistency one small habit at a time. They read, they learn, they think, they plan, and they execute. When they fail, they do not surrender. They study the lesson, adjust the strategy, and try again with greater wisdom. They guard their time, surround themselves with people who lift their standards, and they refuse to blame circumstances for outcomes they can improve. Your future is not hidden in chance, it is contained in your choices. If you want better results, build better habits. If you want a stronger tomorrow, practice stronger discipline today. Take responsibility for your direction, invest in your mind, and dare to grow beyond comfort. Let this be the day you stop wishing and begin working, the day you stop promising and start performing. Because once you commit to these success habits, life opens doors that once seemed impossible. And when you look back, you will not just admire success, you will know that you earned it. Thank you. Make the decision, take the action, and write a story you will be proud to tell. The world does not need more potential, it needs people who turn potential into performance, and that person can be you. Starting today, now, they take full responsibility for their life. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one defining habit that separates the ultra-successful from the rest of the world, it is this: they take complete responsibility for their lives. They do not outsource their destiny to luck, fate, or circumstances. They do not wait for rescue, permission, or miracles. They stand firmly and declare, my life is my responsibility, my success is my responsibility, and my results are my responsibility. This single decision transforms ordinary people into leaders of their own destiny. Most people spend years blaming something or someone for where they are. Some blame their parents, some blame their education, some blame their past, and some blame the economy, society, or opportunities they never received. But here is the truth. Life is not shaped by what happens to you. Life is shaped by how you respond to what happens. Everyone faces challenges. Everyone experiences setbacks, disappointments, failures, heartbreaks, and unfair moments. The difference is how people interpret these moments. The unsuccessful, this is why I cannot succeed. The ultra-successful say, this is where I begin to rise. Responsibility is not about guilt, shame, or fault. Responsibility is about power. The moment you blame something else, you surrender your power. You tell the world, I am not in control. But when you accept responsibility, you take your power back. You say, if I created part of this situation through my decisions, then I can create a better situation through better decisions. This mindset turns life from something that happens to you into something that happens for you. Ultra-successful individuals understand that success begins internally before it shows externally. They constantly ask themselves powerful questions. What can I improve? What can I learn from this? What is within my control right now? What action can I take today to move forward? These questions push them into growth instead of excuses. Taking responsibility also means accepting that your habits shape your results. Your health reflects your lifestyle. Your finances reflect your choices. Your knowledge reflects what you read and learn. Your relationships reflect how you communicate and value others. Nothing changes until you do, and nothing improves until you stop defending your limitations and start strengthening your capabilities. Another important aspect of responsibility is emotional responsibility. The ultra-successful do not allow their emotions to run their lives. They understand that feelings are temporary while decisions are permanent. They do not make excuses based on mood, laziness, or fear. They discipline themselves to act even when they do not feel like acting. This emotional maturity builds character, resilience, and credibility with themselves. They also take responsibility for their environment. They understand that your surroundings influence your behavior. They choose better people to learn from, better information to consume, better conversations to engage in, and better standards to live by. They refuse to remain in places that limit growth. Finally, taking responsibility requires courage. It is easy to blame, it is easy to justify, it is easy to complain. But growth demands honesty, it demands self-reflection. It demands the humility to admit mistakes and the strength to correct them. Ultra-successful individuals are not perfect, they are accountable. So, if there is one step toward success you must commit to today, let it be the stop blaming, stop waiting, stop excusing. Stand up mentally and declare, from this moment, I take responsibility for my direction, my habits, my effort, and my future. When you do that, life stops being a burden and becomes an opportunity. That is where real success begins. Ladies and gentlemen, the second defining habit of the ultra-successful is that they do not depend on temporary bursts of motivation. Instead, they build strong, consistent daily disciplines. Motivation is emotional. It rises when life feels exciting and disappears the moment challenges appear. Discipline, however, is not emotional. Discipline is a decision. It is a commitment to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the right day, the right mood, or the perfect moment. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and life quietly passes them by. The ultra-successful understand a powerful truth. Success does not belong to the most excited. It belongs to the most consistent. Excitement may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Daily discipline means repeating small positive actions until they become part of your identity. It means waking up with a plan instead of waking up with confusion. It means prioritizing growth activities such as reading, learning, planning, practicing, working, exercising, and improving every single day. These small, repeated efforts compound over time. Just as drops of water eventually shape stone, daily disciplined actions shape destiny. Consider this. One disciplined hour of learning every day will make you significantly smarter in a year than most people who only learn occasionally. One disciplined habit of saving or investing consistently will create financial power over time. One disciplined routine of exercise will transform health and energy. Discipline creates progress, and progress creates confidence. The ultra-successful also design their environment to support discipline. They reduce distractions, structure their day, and define priorities clearly. They do not wake up and ask, "What should I do today?" They already know. Their day is led by design, not by impulse. They understand that if you do not control your time will control you. Another key aspect of discipline is self-leadership. They hold themselves accountable. They do not need someone constantly reminding, pushing, or motivating them. They set standards and commit to them. They build habits such as waking up early, planning their day, practicing their craft, maintaining health, and continuously improving. These routines may feel difficult initially, but with repetition, they become natural, automatic, and even enjoyable. Discipline also protects your dreams from emotional sabotage. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or doubtful. There will be moments when progress seems slow and results seem invisible. Those who rely on motivation quit during these moments. Those who rely on discipline keep moving. That persistence eventually turns invisible effort into visible achievement. Another powerful truth is this: discipline creates freedom. It gives freedom from financial stress because disciplined work leads to stronger income and better management. It gives freedom from regret because disciplined action ensures progress. It gives freedom from fear because disciplined preparation builds confidence. Many people think discipline restricts life. In reality, it strengthens it. The ultra-successful also understand that discipline is not perfection. There will be mistakes, missed days, and challenging moments. But instead of quitting, they reset quickly. They return to their routines. They protect their habits. They understand that consistency does not mean never failing. It means never stopping. Ultimately, daily discipline builds character. It shapes who you become. It develops patience, resilience, focus, and strength. It turns ordinary individuals into extraordinary performers. When you repeat disciplined actions long enough, success stops being an effort and becomes a natural outcome. So, if you truly want to transform your life, stop waiting for motivation. Build routines, build structure, build daily disciplines. Because motivation may inspire you for a moment, but discipline will lead you to success for a lifetime. They invest in their mind first. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one powerful truth that defines the ultra-successful, it is this: before they build businesses, careers, wealth, or influence, they build their mind. They understand that your life will never rise higher than the quality of your thinking. Everything you create, every decision you make, every opportunity you recognize, and every challenge you handle begins inside your mind. That is why the ultra-successful consider mental development their greatest and most valuable investment. Most people spend years decorating their homes, upgrading their phones, buying clothes, and chasing social approval, yet they neglect the one place where their entire future is designed: the mind. The ultra-successful do the opposite. They read, they learn, they think, they analyze, and they constantly feed their brain powerful information. They know that knowledge is not an expense, it is capital. They make learning a lifestyle. Reading is not a hobby to them, it is a necessity. They study books on mindset, leadership, business, psychology, finance, communication, and human behavior. They learn not just to pass time, but to gain clarity, sharpen wisdom, and expand their vision. Where most people entertain themselves, they educate themselves. They understand a simple rule: what you feed your mind regularly will eventually shape how you see the world and how you operate within it. Investing in the mind also means seeking mentorship and guidance. Ultra-successful individuals do not waste years repeating the same mistakes when they can learn in minutes from someone who has already walked the path. They observe, listen, ask questions, absorb lessons, and apply them. They never assume they know everything. In fact, the more they grow, the more humble they become, because wisdom teaches them how much more there is still to learn. They also practice thinking, real thinking. Many people react to life. The ultra-successful reflect on life. They take time to sit quietly, evaluate decisions, plan strategically, think deeply, and refine direction. They do not rush blindly through life. They think intentionally. Reflection becomes their tool for clarity. Planning becomes their instrument for direction. Awareness becomes their shield against confusion. Another part of mental investment is emotional intelligence. They train their mind to handle pressure, criticism, failure, and uncertainty with maturity. Rather than collapsing emotionally when things go wrong, they analyze, adapt, and move forward with intelligence instead of panic. They develop the ability to think calmly under stress, which allows them to make strong decisions when others fall apart. They are also extremely selective about what they allow into their mind. They protect it from negativity, gossip, toxic conversations, and small thinking. They know that the content they consume, news, social media, opinions, entertainment, can either strengthen their mindset or slowly weaken it. So they choose information that empowers rather than information that drains. Another powerful element of investing in the mind is skill development. They constantly upgrade their abilities. They learn communication, leadership, problem solving, technology, finance, creativity, and innovation. They believe in lifelong learning. While others believe education ends with school, they believe true education begins when school ends. Ultimately, investing in the mind builds confidence. When you know more, you think better. When you think better, you decide better. When you decide better, you live better. Knowledge gives you courage. Understanding gives you strength. Wisdom gives you direction. So if you desire to join the ranks of the ultra-successful, begin here. Read more, learn daily, think deeply, seek mentors, guard your mind, develop skills, because your mind is not just part of your success, your mind is the birthplace of it. Strengthen it and your life will follow. They master time instead of being controlled by it. Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth habit that separates the ultra-successful from the average is their mastery of time. Most people think of time as something that passes them by, something to complain about, something they can never get enough of. They wait for hours to feel right or blame their circumstances for lack of progress. But the ultra-successful understand a powerful truth. Time is the most valuable resource, and how you manage it determines the quality of your life. Time is equal for everyone. Every human receives exactly 24 hours a day, no more, no less. The difference is not in the hours themselves. The difference is in how those hours are used. The ultra-successful do not merely live in time, they direct it. They understand that saying, "I don't have time," is really saying, "This is not a priority." They do not let distractions, delays, or low-value activities dictate their life. They take control of their calendar and ultimately their destiny. Mastering time begins with prioritization. The ultra-successful identify the activities that move them closer to their goals and focus intensely on them. They ask, which actions today will create the biggest results tomorrow? And which efforts truly matter in the long term? They ruthlessly cut out tasks that do not add value, while committing deeply to the ones that do. It is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters most consistently. Another key element is planning and structure. They understand that spontaneity without direction is chaos. They plan their days, weeks, and months, often in detail, so that every action has a purpose. They set goals, create routines, and review progress regularly. Time mastery is not about being busy, it is about being productive and intentional. They also respect the power of focus. The ultra-successful know that multitasking is a myth. They block distractions, concentrate on one task at a time, and achieve higher quality results faster. Their focus allows them to finish tasks efficiently, leaving room for creativity, learning, and rest. Importantly, they invest in personal growth during their time. Every day includes moments for reading, thinking, and learning, activities that compound over time to create extraordinary results. They do not trade long-term progress for short-term comfort or entertainment. Time invested in skill development, strategic thinking, and self-improvement becomes a compounding asset that pays enormous dividends in the future. Finally, mastering time means understanding balance and boundaries. The ultra-successful allocate time for health, relationships, rest, and recreation because they know burnout and chaos destroy productivity. They schedule their energy as carefully as they schedule their hours. They respect the clock, their body, and their commitments. Most people spend time reacting to life. The ultra-successful spend time designing life. They decide where their minutes go, which activities get attention, and which habits define their day. By mastering time, they gain freedom, clarity, and results. So, if you want to follow in their footsteps, start treating time as your most precious asset. Plan deliberately, prioritize relentlessly, focus fiercely, invest wisely, and protect your hours. Remember, your future is not built by wishful thinking. It is built by disciplined use of the moments you are given today. Manage your time and you will manage your life. They choose powerful environments and associations. Ladies and gentlemen, the fifth habit that distinguishes the ultra-successful from the average is their conscious choice of the people and environments they surround themselves with. You may have heard the phrase, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." This is not just a saying, it is one of the most powerful truths in life. The people around you, the energy you absorb, and the places you spend your time have a profound impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Most people underestimate the influence of their associations. They accept negativity, distraction, and small thinking as normal. They stay in environments that drain energy, reinforce excuses, or limit possibilities. The ultra-successful do the opposite. They understand that success is contagious, just as failure is. They deliberately align themselves with people who inspire, challenge, and elevate their standards. They walk with those who push them to think bigger, act stronger, and grow faster. Choosing the right associations is more than simply picking friends. It is about seeking mentors, peers, and networks that provide wisdom, accountability, and vision. Ultra-successful individuals invest time in learning from those who have already achieved what they aspire to accomplish. They observe, ask questions, and apply lessons that would take years to discover alone. They also surround themselves with individuals who embody the values, habits, and mindset they want to cultivate. In short, they mirror excellence by association. Equally important is avoiding toxic environments. Negative people, gossip, fear-driven conversations, and discouraging influences act like invisible weights that slow progress. The ultra-successful protect themselves from these energy drains. They set boundaries to maintain mental clarity, emotional strength, and focus. They understand that your network can either limit or amplify your potential. It is a choice. Environments also include physical and informational spaces. The ultra-successful create spaces that support growth, workspaces that foster focus, homes that inspire reflection, and routines that encourage productivity. They curate the content they consume. Books, podcasts, news, social media, and entertainment are all filtered to feed learning, positivity, and vision. Just as a plant grows towards sunlight, your mind grows toward the information and influences it regularly receives. Association also drives accountability. When you spend time with high achievers, you adopt their standards. You no longer settle for mediocrity. You begin to challenge excuses, raise your goals, and measure yourself against excellence. This is why many ultra-successful people advise evaluating your circle regularly. Who pulls you down? Who adds energy and knowledge, and who saps it? These decisions are not trivial. They shape your long-term trajectory. Finally, choosing powerful associations is not just about receiving, it is about contributing. The ultra-successful bring value to their networks. They support, motivate, and challenge others positively. This reciprocity strengthens relationships, builds trust, and creates environments of mutual growth. Surrounding yourself with the right people is not passive. It requires effort, discernment, and active participation. In conclusion, your environment and associations are silent architects of your life. The ultra-successful understand this and treat it as a deliberate strategy. They choose wisely, they protect their mental and emotional space, and they immerse themselves in influences that expand their thinking, inspire action, and elevate results. So today, take a hard look at your surroundings. Ask yourself, are the people around me lifting me toward my goals or holding me back? Are my spaces inspiring growth or fostering stagnation? Your associations can either limit your potential or accelerate it. Choose carefully. Your circle is your future. They commit to growth beyond comfort. Ladies and gentlemen, the sixth habit that separates the ultra-successful from the ordinary is their unwavering commitment to growth. Even when it is uncomfortable, most people settle for comfort. They follow familiar routines, avoid challenges, and shy away from uncertainty. They prefer the known even if it limits their potential because comfort feels safe. The ultra-successful, however, understand a fundamental truth. Everything you desire in life exists just beyond your comfort zone. Growth and comfort are opposing forces. Comfort lulls you into complacency. Growth challenges you to stretch, adapt, and evolve. The ultra-successful embrace discomfort as a necessary ingredient of achievement. They understand that personal and professional expansion does not happen by staying safe. It happens when you stretch your abilities, face fears, and take consistent action in areas that demand courage, resilience, and effort. One key aspect of growth beyond comfort is embracing challenges. The ultra-successful do not avoid difficult conversations, tough decisions, or unfamiliar tasks. They approach challenges as opportunities to learn, improve their capabilities. They understand that every obstacle carries a lesson and that failure is not defeat but feedback. While the average person avoids difficulty, the ultra-successful face it head-on, knowing that each challenge conquered builds confidence, and character. Another element is taking calculated risks. Growth requires stepping into the unknown. It requires doing what you have never done before. Ultra-successful individuals weigh opportunities carefully, but they do not allow fear to immobilize them. They understand that taking no action is the biggest risk of all. By moving forward despite uncertainty, they open doors that would remain forever closed to those who play it safe. Consistency and self-improvement is also central to this habit. Ultra-successful people are relentless learners. They read, they practice, they study, and they invest in their skills even when the process is challenging or monotonous. They recognize that mastery is not instant. It is earned through repeated effort, discipline, and persistence. They embrace the hard work that others avoid, knowing that the path to excellence is paved with patience and persistence. Another important aspect is embracing feedback and criticism. The ultra-successful welcome feedback even when it stings because they know that growth without reflection is limited. They do not take criticism personally. Instead, they use it as a mirror to identify gaps and areas for improvement. Comfort may feel safe, but it never teaches you what you need to learn. Growth requires openness, humility, and the courage to change. Moreover, they understand that personal growth requires stepping into emotional discomfort. This includes facing fears, overcoming insecurities, and confronting limiting beliefs. Ultra-successful individuals know that the mind resists change because change is uncomfortable. Yet they persist because they recognize that transformation, the real kind that creates extraordinary results, always involves temporary struggle. Finally, growth beyond comfort builds resilience and confidence. Every time you stretch beyond your limits, you expand what you consider possible. You develop courage, mental toughness, and self-belief. You begin to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as temporary. You transform discomfort into momentum. This is why the ultra-successful are never complacent. They are always evolving, always learning, always rising. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice is clear. You can live comfortably within your limits, or you can grow beyond them. Every step outside comfort is a step toward a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Commit to growth, embrace discomfort, face challenges, take risks, learn relentlessly. Because the life you desire is never built within the walls of comfort. It is forged in the fires of consistent growth.